There we are. All right. Excellent. Okay, and the second I press live, apparently someone's tweeting me on Twitter. Oh, John Roker just tweeted me on the New British Empire page.
Because I'm on his episode.
I guess probably. Hi. All right, I got to do an introduction because I'm cutting these up for a podcast. So, hello, welcome to Unboxd. This is a show where we get members of the film-loving community that we're all a part of and bring them on to talk about their love of movies and their rankings on the website Letterboxd. Today, I pulled up some homeless guy off the street. Yep. I don't know if he knows anything about movies, but we hope. Now, in all seriousness, one of the funniest guys in this community, the most notorious cupcake hater himself, Aaron J. How you doing, Chief?
I do not hate cupcakes at all. I don't know if I'm ever going to get to enjoy that cupcake, but eventually, luckily my team, has a multiplex match. So thanks, Multiplex, for at least giving my team a chance to play someone. But for some reason, no cupcake on that schedule. So it's all good. Maybe he was, just making sure his hair was right and that looked right in that crown and everything. But it's okay. Anyways, enough about that. I don't hate cupcakes at all. So that is your words, not mine. I have no hate at all for the cupcake.
I'm on a diet, so I do hate cupcakes.
That's fair. You look great.
Oh, thank you. I'm up 5 kilos.
Don't know what that means in America. That could mean anything. So good for you.
Thank you. All right. So let's start at the beginning. So how did you get into, when did the love of movies first start with you? Was it from early childhood or was it more gradual?
Yeah, I was definitely a kid who had the babysitter as a television from a pretty early age. So, definitely, I'm trying to think. My first favorite movie would probably be the first 2 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies. So,
good choice.
Secret of the Ooze, I probably liked more than the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I liked them both. I've always been into movies from a pretty young age, and then it kind of evolved as I got a little bit older, but we'll get through that, I'm sure. But yeah, I definitely started as a kid.
So a very important question, which is your turtle?
Michelangelo, 100%. Any boy, I think, could figure that out. They would probably guess Donatello because I'm so sophisticated. But, once you got that out of the way, yeah, Michelangelo, 100%. If I answered that now as an adult, though, I would say Raphael. I definitely understand the anger much more as I get a little bit older. But yeah, Michelangelo I'll still go with.
That 100% is the best one. Even though, for whatever reason, they weren't called Ninja Turtles over here. They were called Hero Turtles.
Hero Turtles.
Because we weren't allowed ninjas, apparently.
Were they still allowed to be teenagers over there?
Yeah, no, they were middle-aged.
Oh,
the song was weird, really weird. Middle-aged ninja hero turtles.
Oh, that has quite the flow to it. Same beats still. They just work.
It was just some guy in a really thick British accent, just like middle-aged heroes.
I think I'd like that more. Yeah, you're ruining my childhood.
So also with Turtles and Michael Bay's, because I ended up watching 30 minutes of the second one the other day. Mm-hmm. And it's honestly, I was just it was half bad.
Yeah, I haven't even watched a second of any of the new ones. For me, I've just what's the point? If I even go back and watch the old ones at this point, unless I'm on a particular substance I'm a fan of, that is green. So just to eliminate any sort of wonder if there's, but it's those movies are hard to watch. Like a lot of movies that I kind of loved from when I was a kid, but I tried to separate that and just remember the time I was watching them at, and everything like that. But the new ones, I was just there's no way these are gonna match what the old ones were for me when I was 5 to 10 years old.
Yeah, they're never going to capture your nostalgia, but at least they don't have the weird, creepy eyes pointing out their mouths.
True. Yeah, true. I mean, it's slowly, like everything with cinema right now is working in a cycle away from the CGI and back to practical. The next Turtles are probably going to be closer to practical than they are CGI anyways. So
hopefully, it'll just be it'll be just like weird Henson creatures again, just like which would be awesome.
Yeah, and then they'll probably merge them with the G.I. Joe franchise or something.
Yes. Well, God, what was it? There was one that came out recently. It was the Turtles and Batman.
Oh, is that one of the cartoons?
Yeah, that was one of the they keep showing whenever I'm on YouTube. They always have random clips of it. So I've watched a couple of them. It's just like I'm there, just like this is wrong. This is sacrilegious. This should not happen. I don't like this.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna stick to what I know with the original 3. It's like the star. Everybody always chucks original trilogy. That I'm an original trilogy, but with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I stay there.
Excellent. All right, so Turtles were like the first movie that like captured your attention. What was it? How did it grow? How did it become just like the passive thing to like a big thing for you?
So I think the first movie that really actually got me into movies, I would say, would be when Titanic came out in theaters.
Okay.
And I was still pretty young at that time, so to sit through a 3-hour movie, it was like a feat for me. And I was just like, oh, I'd never seen anything like this, and the sets, and like there was just like 2020 specials on Titanic with James Cameron, and this is before he's been interneted to death at this point, and you can't trust anything he says. But like back then, like it was just like him rebuilding the sets, and Leonardo DiCaprio was this up and coming actor, and it's just like I had never seen a movie with real acting like that, and the end made me cry, and I just was like, oh, I just thought, what a love story, and it just nothing. I was seeing it through like pure eyes, but at the same point being, hearing like the occasional person be like, oh, this is like Casablanca, and I'm like, what is Casablanca? What is? And so like it kind of so Titanic was really the movie that got me to start realizing there was more than just like fighting movies and like kidnapping movies. Like I liked like Home Alone a lot. I liked Three Ninjas, Surf Ninjas, those kind of movies. I did Taekwondo as a kid.
Oh, cool.
So martial arts has always been something I've been interested in, and comedy has always been something I've been interested in. I've always been the class clown, or tried to be the class clown. If I didn't get the award, I was trying to get the award.
Yeah.
So either way, so like it was always like a combination of the things I only liked before that, and then this movie comes out about two people falling in love on a boat, and it's based on a true story, so it made me start to research that in the library. As an 8-year-old, I didn't care. I mean, I was like, what is the Titanic? I didn't know it.
Oh, good. Yeah, fair enough.
So like, not the specific story of Jack and Rose, of course.
Yeah.
But, like I wasn't researching that part, but I looked up like the Titanic, and just it's so I was just like, it opened up how a movie wasn't just like the experience inside the movie too. It was after the movie, and talking about the movie, and looking into how the movie was made, and in this case with it being based on a true story. So yeah,
like it was like that thing where you were just able to build off from it and just like be able to figure out more of the world around it rather than just
that. And then a less serious one would definitely be around the same time, so probably 95, 96, 97, that range. That Thing You Do, with Tom Hanks, Steve Zahn, several other guys. I mean, just the music, and kind of that was before I had seen any music biopics, and obviously this wasn't based on a specific band, but still, like after seeing it, rewatching it now, I'm like, okay, this kind of follows the same like rise to make your hits, break up, get back together, then break up. But yeah, so That Thing You Do and Titanic always will hold a special spot. And fun fact, the first 3 movies I brought up, all T's. So
I was about to say.
Yeah, kind of weird.
I was just looking for your list quickly just to make sure I had like all the rest of them just to be T's, just to keep going. Yeah.
None of my favorite 4 on Letterboxd are T movies, I don't believe, unless they're counting
Sadly not.
From The Lobster.
But so it was kind of that 96, 97 was a period that you were really like learning about cinema. Like, so which one? Because it's interesting that it's like That Thing You Do, Titanic. They're not the typical move that a child would like at that time. It's like, and whenever speaking to you, it's like you've got more of a like you're into more A24 stuff, you're more into the indie stuff. So how did that kind of come in?
So the male part is interesting to pick up on, and I have no problem opening up about this on here. My father passed away when I was 3 years old. He had a brain tumor from when I was 1.
Oh, sure.
So I have no actual memories of him, to be honest with you.
Okay.
So it's like it's the most unlucky thing and most lucky thing. I always say that. I get it. You can apologize. It's not your fault. I just always get that out of the way, though, the reason I do bring that up is I was raised by my mom and her best friend, Donna. So I was raised by two women. So I think that pretty early on, I got accustomed to the feminine perspective and not in a tradition where it's like, not in a tradition where they like prevented me from like participating in sports or whatever, anything like that. But I think I just learned that there was a different perspective than just a masculine boy perspective that like you don't learn there's a difference till I learned it pretty early on. Like I mean, at 5 years old, I would accuse kids on the playground of using me for my PlayStation. And they're like 5 years old. They like, what are you talking? I felt like I got, so like, I guess your dad dying before you're ready to even understand the concept of death kind of forces a little bit of some rapid progressions in some ways, probably delayed progressions in other ways. But I think it did allow me early on to not be worried about liking something that like, oh, as a boy, I'm not supposed to like, or something like that, I guess.
Yeah. Kind of that case where it was your home life was a lot more feminine based. So you did have that influence, but obviously you like being a male, you still got the stuff from like outside perspectives as well. Interesting.
Yeah. So, so what your original and then your question kind of went back to
so about
Indies A24.
Yeah. So how did that start to come in for you?
I think it just continues to be A24, which I'll bring up in a conversation with movies pretty quickly on. I have a podcast that I do with my friend Austin Burke, who has a YouTube channel. It's called A24 and More is the podcast name, and it's currently behind his Patreon wall. I'm trying to work to get him to put it behind his Patreon wall so that I can share it with more people who aren't Patreon members of his, but that's a whole nother story. But anyways, I do love A24. I overall really love indie movies. And I just really appreciate whether I like where the story goes completely or not, a storyteller being able to fully tell the story the way they want to tell it. And the intentions from there and how people take it, they can't control that. I get that. But I think often some of the movies I liked the most, I've gotten, I think, the intentions of the filmmaker, and it's caused a really great experience for me. And with A24, particularly at this point, it's a studio that I see releasing a lot of movies that I really, really enjoy. Even if I don't enjoy them, I appreciate them. I usually don't feel like it wasted my time, and just overall, it's introduced me to some of my favorite movies ever. So awesome. Yeah, just I try to still like the mainstream stuff, but I often just get distracted by knowing that certain people are not at risk in certain movies, and it just makes it kind of boring to me.
So you're one of those people that you start picking out, just like, oh, he's got a contract for 4 movies left, like he's gonna be fine for this.
I try to ignore that even, but just like if I'm watching the next Thor movie, Thor's all right. Right? Yeah. Like it's just it's just like I don't need every movie to shock me. A lot of the that's like kind of a misnomer a lot of people I think have about me who know my taste in movies. They're like, oh, you just always have to be shocked. It always has to be against the grain. No, it doesn't. I just want the story to be told without pandering mainly, and whatever type of pandering that is, and just for it to be told with the risks being made authentically and with some sort of passion in life.
Nice. Yeah. Can I say that's a pretty good way to go? It's like, actually, I just like movies that have no emotion, no soul whatsoever. That's my personal favorite movie. It's just like like the Sex and the City 2s of the world, the ones where you just look at their eyes and just like there's nothing behind them. That's what I get.
I think whatever people like, that's great that they like it. But it's just for me, at this point, I do feel hope when I see A24 before a movie. I take a little sigh of relief, and maybe some people can accuse me of that making me enjoy the movie more. I don't think that necessarily does. And it's still getting no love at the Oscars. So got one Oscar nomination for all their movies, which is insane. But I try not to pay attention to the Oscars, but
they're an interesting bunch this year. Like, no Dolomite's my name, so fuck them.
There's a lot of. Hopefully, Parasite wins Best Picture. That'd be cool.
I still not had a chance to see it yet. It's not. I had a chance when I was in the States. It was me, Jacoby's missus, and Adeline Spence went to the cinemas. Adeline went to go see Portrait of a Woman on Fire. Jacoby went to see Parasite, and he went, "Oh yeah, what do you want to go?" And I went, "I want to go see the Nazi film." So hopefully that comes out over here at some point.
Yeah. All three of those I think would be good. I haven't seen Portrait yet, but I want to.
Yeah, apparently it's really good, even though it didn't even get nominated for anything because the French apparently hate it.
Yeah, join the club.
All right. So actually, speaking of that, like a lot of people in this community, they kind of shy away from foreign films. Is that, or like if they do foreign films, it's primarily like anime and just like, how are you with them? Are they something that you look out for, especially because it seems like that'll be up your alley, or are you more?
Yeah. No, I've become a huge fan of foreign films over the last few years. Actually, what really got me into foreign entertainment overall was a television show that's on Netflix called Dark. It's a German show, and I've watched that first season of that show more than maybe any show ever, and it really got me into realizing that this is a really, really great way to get into a bunch of different types of film that are going to be having creators approaching it from a completely different mindset, culturally, and then you're approaching things from. So if I'm watching a South Korean film with South Korean filmmakers, their ways of surprising me are not going to be the ways that people surprise me in movies over here. And just the reading only, I feel like, just immerses you more into the movie. So I mean, I'm a huge Burning is definitely one of my favorite of the last few years that I don't think it's a lot of love. The Old Boys of the World are great too. Yeah. Train to Busan, but yeah, Parasite I think is really opening the door more and more though I think this is by far the most popular of foreign films been in quite a few years that I can remember.
Yeah, well, it's having a decent run at the moment. You've had Roma last year, Parasite this year. Yep. It's like, what was that line that Derek said? It's like once you get over the 1-inch barrier, exactly. The whole world new cinema for you.
Yeah, it's a great quote, and it does keep a lot of people from watching movies here. I mean, anytime I watch a movie with anybody, there's always a screen popping up next to me, and so you can't look at your phone if you're watching a movie in Korean and you don't know Korean. So, but either way, I'm a huge fan of it.
Yeah. You gotta get into Bollywood. I'm trying to get more people into Bollywood in this community just so I can start asking questions about it.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen a Bollywood film. To be honest, but
Three Idiots.
Okay, well,
it's not the best one by a country mile, but it's the most Americanized Bollywood film. Yeah, it's a sitcom. It's a comedy about three guys that bumble their way through college.
Yeah, no, I'm open to it. I mean, I just think that limiting yourself to only movies that you directly relate to in any way is just a complete waste of time. So the less I relate to it, the less I understand, the better sometimes. And then other times with something like Uncut Gems, the most Jewish movie ever, I super related to that movie and I loved it too. So It works both. It's not a black or white type of thing, but I think that Little Women was one of my favorite movies from last year. And
cool.
I quote unquote am not supposed to relate to that movie, but I loved it. So
I still love the original Little Women, the ones from the 70s and stuff like that, and earlier.
This is the first one I've seen, so I should go back and watch the others maybe. But yeah, I went to it with my mom on Christmas thinking I was gonna hate it, and yeah, it was great.
Nice. All right, so let's get cracking with your favorite films. So these are the four that you set. So you mentioned one that was The Lobster, so an A24 film. Then ever so slightly different. Next two, next three: Coming to America, Brazil, and Sing Street.
Yeah, nice balance.
I was about to say very similar, very like all in the same vein. Just like none of these like completely off the wall different.
No, not at all. Just it's the usual, like everybody else's. So, yeah.
So,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, as a massive fan of Mike Python, I've never really liked Terry Gilliam's work on his own. So, what's about Brazil for you? Like, is it?
So I am a huge so with just about every movie on my favorite list, it was a time and a place that I saw it at that particularly raises it to the next level. For me, my favorite films of all time are by no way the best movies of all time. But for me, they are my best movies. It includes the experience of seeing them. So with Brazil, I saw this at a time in my life where I was working a government job that I absolutely did not enjoy. And I was really, really miserable. I had top secret security clearance. So like supposedly what everybody would want here. I live in Washington, D.C. I still live in Washington, D.C. and I'll get to what I do later. But it was just like it was like the stereotypical government drone position. And I would just wake up every day, go to work, buzz in, do just enough work to maintain my backlog because that was what I was instructed to do.
Yeah.
And then go to the bar, drink, go home, and watch something and pass out on my couch or pass out on my bed if I got lucky. And then I saw this movie one day, and it just I really, really responded to it. It inspired me to quit my job. It inspired me to leave without really a plan, which isn't the best idea, but I've been playing poker since I was at a young age, so I've been able to make money playing poker for a long time. So that took care of the financial aspect of it. And this movie just overall really I haven't seen anything quite like it. The set design to me it just felt like it had texture almost. It felt like it was like gonna leak out of my television or like start like spraying out of my TV. It was so immersive to me. It was so weird. It felt like it was a movie made for nobody but me, which I know other people feel that way. I know that sounds pretentious. But it felt like how this movie felt like it was made tomorrow. That's what it feels like. It feels like it was made tomorrow to me. I get something new from it every single time. And I only saw it a few years ago. So this is not a movie that was like long in my veins of like, oh, I just grew up loving Brazil and to me, it will always make it hard for me to judge a Terry Gilliam movie objectively, because I just am always going to be like, he made Brazil. And he fucking fought so hard to get it released the way he wanted to, and eventually did. And I don't have a particular version I love. I think it's the director's cut if I had to choose, but I really just love the movie. I love the music. The theme song, if you know the theme song, will get stuck in your head forever. And it just, without sounding crazy, it's a movie that kind of changed my life and my life direction. And I'll just never forget that for that movie. And
awesome.
I love that movie.
I know someone over Mark Como, one of the biggest film critics over here, says that it's one of the best Christmas films of all time.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's just the best. It's just there's so many themes that really came to fruition here in the States, particularly. I guess I can speak for. I can't speak for over there, but it's almost scary. And then Terry Gilliam says a bunch of dumb shit all the time now. I understand
Yeah.
that. I know that. I mean,
So
I go ahead.
that's half the Pythons at the moment. John Cleese can't stop putting his mouth in his mouth.
I'm a big believer that most of these artists are extremely tortured and fucked up, and that's how they create this amazing shit. And it's just hopefully they keep it together and don't let the monsters out like a lot of these guys keep on doing. But so many of these incredible artists, I mean, I won't go off on a tangent here, but like Rosemary's Baby is one of the best movies I've seen in the last couple of years. I saw it for the first time. Roman Polanski is a fucked up dude. We know this.
Yeah.
But if you put a black bar over his name and showed that movie to anybody, it's just an incredibly impressive piece of cinema to me. So like these artists are often very, very tortured, and I'm not saying I'm a tortured artist or anything, but as someone who's worked out a lot of my own shit in therapy and some of it I haven't worked on in therapy, I respect that and understand that and sympathize with it and really just kind of marvel that some of these people turn into these amazing works of art that we get to enjoy and talk about and watch. It's crazy to me.
It's kind of like the Van Gogh perspective of just like the idea of the tortured artist creating beautiful work and then just like being able to work through the pain. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting when you mentioned that, like about Polanski and just being able to. So I know because there's quite a lot of people that can't like put, like if they see a name like at the moment it's the Weinstein Company, like obviously Woody Allen, Polanski, all these people. Like if you see the name attached, just like nope, not touching it with a barge pole. You're kind of able to like go, okay, I understand. Like they're a terrible person, but the art can work.
Yeah, I respect anybody's choice who does that, honestly. But that is not what I do. And you can call it convenient or cynical or a little bit of both. But I think if you're doing that, to me, you're only doing that for people who've gotten caught. If you honestly think the only people who are doing these things that are happening are the ones who are getting caught, that's extremely naive, in my opinion. And just like. And it's like, okay, so as long as you're like good at concealing it, as long as you're good at pretending, then I'm fine to still like you. But if you're not and you let up, then like to me, it's just like, you know what? I'm not the moral police or moral compass, and I really like enjoying good shit. And I just can't be thinking about who did this and what did this. And I've watched Annie Hall. It's an incredible film. I've watched Manhattan. I've watched a ton of Woody Allen movies that I really enjoy. And it's like, that is like, if you don't like it, I respect that too, but I do.
I'm in the same mind, but I don't go to a movie with my moral barometer out and just like, oh, you're this much of a dick, I'm not gonna like anything you do. Woody Allen, I just never liked. I've never watched Annie Hall the whole way through.
That's fine. You're not Jewish, Tony. I am. So it's just like there are certain things that if you're just like not Jewish, I'm not sure why you're coming to a Woody Allen movie. And I mean that with all due respect. Like, but it's just it's also I think why sometimes I watch Scorsese movies and I'm just like, I am not Catholic enough for this shit.
Yeah. Silence. I was the same. I grew up Catholic and I was just like, that movie was like, I'm not Catholic enough for this. I was a missionary.
I was trying to be more Catholic as I watched that, but I was like, I'm too much of a Jew. Sorry. Like
I do like the idea now, just like once a child is born in Jewish faith, just like here's your Torah, here's your Woody Allen DVDs, here's your Adam Sandler.
It's oh man, Adam is this. Yeah, it is how I mean, it is how it is part of for me. And I think everybody what movies is that you can bring your experience and you can like only you have your life experience. I get it again. That sounds a little crystally and a little bit like hippy dippy, but only you have your experience. So if there's a movie that you really love that no one else loves, okay, that's fine. I mean, like only, it's only for you. That's kind of what I went along with my favorites here. But yeah.
So. All right. So moving on to another one. So we talked about how much Brazil, made you quit your job and everything like that. So when is your holiday to Zamunda booked?
Oh man. So coming to America. First of all, very nervous for the sequel coming out. But Dolomite makes me feel a little better.
But I was like I was absolutely cracking it for that, and just like watching the last my name was say like, okay, no, Murphy's back. It's going to be interesting. It's like the director can actually work with him, so
yeah. I mean, we'll see. But Coming to America, just for me, it's one of these movies that definitely the first rated R movie I got to see, and I just watched it over and over again as a kid. And it's a movie that, as I've grown up, it's been able to grow with me, and I've been able to still enjoy it in just different ways as I've gotten older. So like as a kid, like I was younger, just like the crazy singing at the wedding with the crazy big guy, and just all the characters in the barbershop, even though I didn't know what the fuck they were saying in the barbershop as a kid. I didn't know who Joe Louis was or Cassius Clay and all this. And then as I got older, I learned about boxing, and I actually understand, like I saw there was like Eddie Murphy playing a Jewish guy better than any Jewish actor I can ever imagine. Just like it was all so great, and it's like,
it's so amazing that he got away with that. Just like, because if it was the opposite way around, even in the 80s, you probably would be like,
well, there was movies like Soul Man that came on in the 80s with C. Thomas Howell putting on.
Good point. Weird Science 2.
Yeah, like trust me, the 80s were very coked out and problematic, so they would have been able to get away with it. But that was the thing, was just like, I mean, Eddie Murphy's comedy back in the 80s even too. I mean, it's just like all of it. But yeah, Coming to America, I from a young age was a hopeless romantic. From like 5 years old, I was a kid who like tried to get a date at kindergarten and liked the girls before everybody else. So like it had a love story in it, and there was swearing, and I like swearing a lot as a kid. But like it's just a great story. It's such an ensemble of characters. Eddie Murphy at his highest, at his strength to me. It's just got kind of everything that a movie needs. It's got a great love story. It solves into happy ever after at the end, and I just think it's a perfect movie all the way around.
Yes, completely agree. It's one of probably is the end of like Murphy's like peak run.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you had the Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2, 48 Hours, all that.
Yeah, and I loved Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2 and 3. Yeah. I actually loved 3 the most as a kid. So, which
3's the one at the theme park, right?
Yes, at Wonder World. But I love all 3 of those movies too. So I just really was a huge fan of Eddie Murphy just as a kid. And this one to me was the one that I got to watch at my house. And even though they said fuck and had boobs in it and swore a little bit, like my mom let me watch that one for some reason all the time. So like there's other rated R movies I'd have to fight for or hide, like Friday, another one of my favorite movies of all time, which my mom would always hide outside, and I'd have to rewind it and put it back outside and pretend I didn't know where it was. But yeah,
I just like the idea now that it's literally on the porch outside for you, just like.
Oh yeah, she didn't throw it out or anything. She just like she put it outside in the cabinet, right outside in the garage, and I think she wanted me to watch it, but just like work for it if I was going to watch it and put it back. Hopefully.
One of those things you actually had to respect the movie rather than just like tits.
Yep, exactly. I definitely respect Friday.
I have watched it from your recommendation from one of the old shows that we did on the channel. It's so good.
Yep, it's a great movie. Great movie. They'll make another one of those for no reason. Probably or something, but
it'll be with O'Shea Jackson Jr. now.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh dear God. So I mentioned earlier before we got on stream and saw Just Mercy earlier today. Mm-hmm. Like O'Shea Jackson Jr. is in there. Legitimately, he sounds exactly like his dad. He sounds more like Ice Cube than he did in Straight Outta Compton.
Oh man,
it was ridiculous. Like the first like 2 minutes he was speaking, I was there just like, is that actually his dad didn't make it? Is that Ice Cube?
Yeah. And that's a movie where there's just so many opportunities with the actors that take you out of the movie already, I feel like, with Michael B. Jordan and then with Jamie Foxx, which was Jamie Foxx good in the movie or okay?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Like he was like one of the best. He was probably the best one. The one that got me the most out was Brie Larson because she was doing a thick Georgia accent, and just every time she spoke, it was just like, no, just no. Everyone's speaking normally, and you're speaking weird. Even the racists are speaking normally compared to you.
Oh, Brie. That's what happened with Free Fire for me. It was that she really took me out of that movie. Everybody else really felt like they were in like the 70s and just like I just felt like she like was like, you're a 29. I was like, Brie, stop. So luckily they got her kind of off screen and for the most part, but yeah.
Just shoot people. That's easy enough in those type of movies.
That was the plan with that movie.
All right, so moving on to a movie that gets absolutely adored in this community, 2016 Spring Street.
Yes.
Like,
I mean, it's just so nice.
It's lovely. Like John Carney's the perfect at just doing lovely music movies.
Yeah, and I think this is my favorite of his lovely music movies, to be honest. I did see it first of his and saw them kind of in backwards order.
Fair.
But yeah, I just I think that overall I'm like probably a lot of people, I'm a huge fan of a movie with a great conclusion where it nails the conclusion. Yeah. And to me, this movie I think may nail its conclusion better than any movie ever for me. The music as they're driving away into the ocean together, the brother back on the shore jumping up for joy and support. I have an older brother who I've been waiting a long time to do that for me, and it probably will never happen. And I just mean that in any way, like just supporting me as who I am from a personality standpoint or my achievements, none of which I feel like he's ever done or will do. So when I saw that at the end, Jack Rayner's character jumping up and exclaiming and just the music, and then up came the credits that said for brothers. It makes me cry every single time. It's just the music in that. I love Drive It Like You Stole It, obviously, but Up is honestly the song for me off that soundtrack that makes me kind of get emotional just about every time there's a particular person I definitely attach with that. Yeah, it's just a beautiful movie. I love it. And yeah, I wish I would have saw it in theaters. I did not see it in theaters.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's ever actually seen a John Carney movie in cinemas.
Yeah, it's like so unfortunate.
It's like even I found once when the year after it came out, and I adored that movie. I tried finding Sing Street in the cinema, it was not shown. Even I was even in Dublin at the time it got released, and it was like
you would think if it was there.
It was so weird, but
yeah, it's just a beautifully happy movie though. Which is again something that often I feel like people misunderstand about me. They think I only like dark, dreary, shocking movies, and I like those too. But
you have a heart.
I have a huge heart, and I love a movie that has heart. And I just feel like Sing Street just has so much heart, and you can look at this and be like, oh, were they able to do this or that? It's not a movie about logic. It's a movie about heart, and I dig that movie a lot. So,
and speaking of a movie that has a lot of heart and and true love story, what animal would you be if the lobster was a real thing and you were unlucky enough to be still single?
So I think that I would just. Man, this is such a hard question. I've had so many different thoughts about it. I've thought sloth at some points, and then I've just been like, I don't think I really want to have that little control over when it's all over for me. I thought dog, but no, it really, when it comes down to it, I think I'd want to be something that could fly and get away from other things and be a little more in control. So I'm going to go American here and go with the bald eagle.
Nice.
So, yeah, I just think I'd rather be a predator, a little more in control. There'd be fewer of me, so less birds to get annoyed by. I sometimes get annoyed by people and the amount of people. So maybe if I was an endangered species, So go with a bald eagle.
Also, if you were an endangered species, just go to the zoo. Jill just catch you and just like you'd be having sex all the time.
There we go. Yeah, that would really I'd solve two birds with one stone.
That's the movie ruined. Just pick pick panda. It's just like
one eagle with two stones or something. You know, I don't know.
Close enough.
What about you though? What not that I'm trying to take over your show here.
Nah, it's fine. Hermit crab.
Why is that?
Because if I got to the point where I'm that age and I'm not single and I'm still single, I'm probably because I'm still a bit of a loner, so I might as well just go whole hog, just get myself a little shell and just fuck off.
Oh yeah. I think that's totally fair. That's
and then get eaten by you.
Yeah, exactly. I would eat you tenderly.
Oh,
sorry. That's probably the wrong thing to say.
I was about to say this.
Oh man, but I'm gonna be a bird.
All right, let's move on movies quickly. Yorgos Lanthimos, I know Killing of the Sacred Deer was a 5-star movie for you as well. Mm-hmm. Is he your favorite director going at the moment? Or
he's definitely up there. I would say there's a few of the A24 fellows, Ari Aster, Robert Eggers, Denis Villeneuve, and then I'd definitely say Yorgos. The Lobster being definitely my favorite, but I loved Killing of the Sacred Deer. The Favorite I thought was excellently done, and Dogtooth, his first movie, which is a foreign language film. I believe it's in Dutch. Excellent movie. Super dark comedy, but really well done. Has some really good themes. I highly recommend it, Dogtooth. But The Lobster. I just really like Yorgos. I just think that anything he's attached to, I'll be there to see opening night, and I'm probably gonna like it. He just is very different. Sometimes some people feel monotoned. I don't feel that way. I just think he's kind of dry at some points, but effective.
You were saying earlier about how you want to hear people's voices, and just I don't think there's a director going today, but more than I can't even pronounce the name. I've not got up. More than him, that will be able to actually have his own independent voice. Even a favorite, which should have been a movie that's a bit more by the books, just holy shit, mate, you've taken a lot of chances here.
Yeah, exactly. I am not a period piece fan at all. And another one of my favorite directors is Paul Thomas Anderson, for sure. Another guy who definitely lets his voice be heard in his movies. But I did not like Phantom Thread at all. It did not work for me. And I think a big part of why it didn't work for me was the period piece aspect. Yet The Favorite, one of my favorite movies of the year. And just the chances he took with some of the shots, the fisheye lenses at points, just overall cinematography. I just really enjoyed it, and I appreciated it. Trey Edward Schultz, the director of Waves this year, and a few other movies I've really liked, like Krisha. He takes chances with his aspect ratio throughout that movie and different camera angles. I love when directors take chances and they're not gimmicky about it. So, Yorgos, I just feel is just somebody who, if he got announced to be in a MCU movie, I would just put my head down and just give up.
However, if he was to do something like Doctor Strange,
there's no way it would work. No way he would be announcing he was leaving. There's no way they'd let Yorgos be Yorgos. If a DC movie, I'll give it a chance. If they're like, Yorgos, do the Penguin movie, I'm lining up and buying 1,000 tickets. I will love that movie.
That would be interesting. It's but I can't see him using anyone but Danny DeVito.
I mean, that's fine. I'll watch.
It was still work.
I'm not arguing this at all. I love Batman Returns. Love Batman Returns. I think it's my favorite Batman movie, including Dark Knight, including Batman Begins. I love Batman Returns.
Yeah. It's one of my favorites.
It's just, it's so sexy and so weird, and just so, as a kid, it was fun to watch. As an adult, it's fun to watch. I give movies a huge amount of credit when they're fun at multiple points in my life. That's just a personal upgrade I give it. So, but Yorgos, to kind of bring this back, he's great. He's so different.
All right. So we're speaking of one of the most Yorgos, one of the more newer great directors. Let's talk about one of the greatest directors of all time. He directed one of the all-time greatest movies, Shawshank Redemption, and he also directed the movie that you call, on your half-star review, my least favorite movie of all time, Frank Darabont's The Mist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go ahead.
How can The Mist is the worst film of all time?
Oh man. Well, I can remember I went to see this in theaters. This is back when I have a pretty strict rule now. I don't watch trailers. If I start to see a trailer for a movie that I think looks good, I'll look away from it or plug my ears. And this movie is why. This movie had a fantastic trailer that got me so excited for a movie that was not delivered on at all. And I went with my brother to see it in theaters. And we just were bored out of our minds. And there was just, I really hate movies that hammer you over the head with their thematic elements. And this movie has so many just like religious allegories and this is happening because we've done wrong. We've been wrong. We've been horrible. Like, it's just like with like overbearing, like organ, like choir music as she's like saying, we're all sinners. Like, and then like the tough guy is the Shermanator from American Pie. He's like the big, strong guy. I'm like, really? Like, and just
anyone else? Just anyone else apart from American Pie actors, please.
Yeah, like, and the Shermanator, like, of all people. And it's just like, I'm just watching and I'm just so taken out of the movie. The kid actor is fucking shit. Like, and it's just Thomas Jane is not good in the movie at all. Like, it's just so boring, and the monsters are terribly CGI'd. The only thing I like, and I won't completely spoil it, but is the ending is like the worst possible ending for one of the main characters. And I hated the characters so much that I'm glad it ended terribly for one of them. Wow. So like, that's the only thing that makes me happy, is that character had to do that thing to that specific character, which would suck in real life if you had to do that. So it's the only thing that kind of salvaged it. But I've never walked out of a movie I paid for ever. I won't. But I was so close to walking out of that movie. And our whole theater was like laughing at parts where you're supposed to be scared. So none of our theater was into it. And it was a pretty large theater. So like, it was just fully a shit experience. And maybe there's other movies I've seen that have been worse or whatever, but this I just say is my least favorite because often I'll hear people bring this up as a movie they like. So I just have to make sure to keep it in the shit just in case someone wants to bring it up with me.
Fair. You just would just to make everyone aware of this. I hate this one.
I'm doing my service. Yeah. I try not to see or completely hate movies. I would describe myself as more optimistic than pessimistic with movies. And with my reviews, I try to I really hate spoilers. So with my reviews, I'll often probably use a lot of the same type of terminology. I just try to keep it somewhat general and somewhat just to how my feelings were on the movie and after the movie and why I liked it if I liked it. But yeah, The Mist is one of these movies that anytime it's brought up, anytime I see it, I get angry. It's kind of like the song Mr. Brightside by The Killers, which I associate with a ex-girlfriend who things ended like terribly for. Anytime I hear that song, I just get a little bit angry. And it's like kind of stupid, but like it's real. Like anytime I hear the notes to that song, I'm like, I get the Arthur fist a little bit.
Never Come Over Here. That song has legitimately been everywhere over here.
Yeah, it's everywhere. It's been on the Billboard charts, I think, for the longest time of any song in the history of the Billboard charts, I'm pretty sure. So I'm pretty sure it just passed. But either way, like, you know, I know how to pick shit to annoy myself with, but luckily The Mist is not quite as large as Mr. Brightside.
No, it's ever so slightly smaller. I'll be honest, with The Mist, I always get confused with M. Night Shyamalan's The Happening, the Marky Wahlberg movie.
Yeah, at least that one was so bad it's good.
I was about to say, that one at least has that case of just you can laugh at it.
No. Like that one, like maybe if I watch The Mist now, not because when I went into Mist, I went in with expectations that it was just gonna rock my world. I really had seen a lot of Stephen King I really enjoyed, and overall, like for the most part, I like Stephen King stuff. So with this, it was just I so did not like it that yeah, it was just like no, the Mist. Maybe if I went back to it now, knowing I hate it, maybe I could laugh at it. But
if you go back in a different state of mind, just to be like, I'm just going to make fun of this movie as I watch it.
Yeah,
you might like it more.
Exactly. If I went in the first time expecting it to like rock my world and be this like seminal horror movie, and it wasn't that. And for some people, I hear them bring it up and really love it, and it got B series. I mean, so obviously I'm a little bit in the minority here, but.
Yeah, you gotta be independent, you gotta be yourself at some point. But speaking of movies that have massive religious connotations, like Will Smith's I Am Legend, half star. This is interesting because obviously they have the dog in there. So I know your career now is taking you. How are you with dogs on screen?
I'm not, I don't love seeing dogs die or any of that. So that all automatically will probably knock a movie down half a star, usually. But The Lobster, my favorite movie of all time, has a dog get kicked to death in it. Spoiler alert. So it depends on, I guess, the context. I Am Legend, I guess half a star. That's a little rough. If I'm being honest, it's not like I went back and retroactively reviewed that. So I haven't seen the movie since it came out. That's another movie that when I used to go into movies with really large expectations, often I'd have them kind of fall short of it. As a result, I'd kind of penalize the movie. I think this was kind of one of those cases for me with a lot of Will Smith movies. This, I Am Robot, a few other ones. Sometimes I just feel like it's Will Smith playing that Will Smith character. And like, I'm just like, if you're the only person on earth, like you're not going into a store with mannequins and being like, hey, how's your mama? How's your mama? Like, it's just like, you're not going to be like, it's entertaining to watch, but like, it was just like, it just took me out of the movie. I was just like, and like that, it just was like kind of like a bad generic, like, it's definitely not the worst movie I've ever seen or anything like that.
No,
but yeah.
Also, if you are the last person on earth, if you're watching any movie, you're going to memorize by word Shrek.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's just like, there's just a lot of cutesy, like, just like, let's make this for the audience, like wink at them, and it like ended up like kind of. I don't really remember how it ended, to be honest with you, but I feel like it ended kind of happily ever after.
Yeah,
like,
they kind of
convenient.
They completely changed the ending from the book, and it's terrible.
Yeah. I remember not being satisfied by the ending, and like just overall, like just like a movie that forgettable. So yeah.
And then movie that I know you've had a bit of controversy for hating. Movie that you and I quote: "So generic and only good if you haven't seen a lot of movies." Yawn. Why does Brian Michaels hate you so much for hating E.T.?
Oh my god, dude! E.T. I just didn't see it at the right time, I guess. By the time I saw it, I was just like, "What is the big deal of this movie?" I can acknowledge the score is fantastic. It's beautiful. Like the set design, sure, is fine, but like, it just seemed boring and just like. Even if this was the first, I'm not sure this was the first to do a lot of the things it does in this movie. Like, I just think that a lot of people like super, super comfort food, and this is definitely like comfort food in the form of a movie. It's gonna like challenge you emotionally, but not really challenge you. It's just like I don't know. Like, I don't think that like there's any moments in it that I thought were cute. I feel like it was just like there's product placement throughout the movie. I'm just like, it's fine. It's a fine movie. If I saw it with children of my own or something, like not just random kids that I picked up to watch ET with.
Come here, kids.
Yeah, let's watch a film. Nice. Come here.
Come here, little brats. Get in the van. I got video.
No windows. And yeah, but like this is probably just a case of seeing it too late, maybe. But I think again, I try as I've gotten older to not get as distracted by this. I sometimes get distracted by people's mass love for things, and it makes me punish the movie a little bit. So like, cause everybody loves ET, I wanted to like punish it a little bit with the half-star review.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. If those movies that people say the greatest of all time, I ever ignore completely, or just like when I go watch them, just like, Godfather's okay.
Yeah,
Bring it on spare.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's how I feel about ET.
All right. So moving up to your 1 star. So an interesting one here that I saw was you had the remake of RoboCop as 1 star and the original as 4.5 star.
Yes.
So how come the remake didn't do it for you?
So I saw the remake or the original last year for the first time. And this was a movie that was like kind of close to that same thread as like a Brazil type of movie, where I was just like really impressed with how it approached the different themes and just overall just the comedy and the action and just the design, the ideas it was expressing. I just was like very, very impressed by it. So I did see the original first and went back and saw the remake. I did go into the remake aware that they were going to tone down a lot of it. And they did take a totally different approach. So I did respect that with it. And there were some elements of it that I thought actually were kind of cool. It was nothing like the original, and I don't think it was trying to be like the original, which I think is a good idea. It still wasn't very successful. It was pretty boring and generic at the end of the day. So that's why I gave it 1 star. But like, I didn't absolutely hate it. And if it was called something else, I probably wouldn't have watched it. So I guess I understand why they called it RoboCop from a cynical kind of standpoint. But I think of like, when I think of like remakes that have worked when they've taken a totally different approach, the Suspiria remake from the original Suspiria is a perfect example of that for me. They're nothing like each other at all. And I think that's how you got to do it if you're going to remake a movie that was great or reboot a movie that was great. Like, you got to go a completely different way. And if the movie was shit, you should probably go a completely different way too. Going a different way with your reboot or remake is probably the way to go, but it's probably not as easy.
Yeah, unless you're trying to be like Gus Van Sant's Psycho and just literally do shot for shot remake and just like, and you wonder why people didn't go see it.
Yeah, and I love Gus Van Sant, but that definitely did not work.
Yeah, that was a weird one. You were there just like, why? All right, moving on. So next one is one we spoke about Eddie Murphy being one of your favorite comedian actors, like Coming to America is such an important film for you. 2002 Showtime. Him and Robert De Niro. That movie is shit.
Yeah, I missed that one.
That is. Yeah, you have it as one side. Do you remember anything about it or
which movie?
Showtime.
Showtime with
De Niro and Eddie Murphy.
Are you talking about? Is it?
It's the one where they end up on the TV show.
One. Yeah, the cop. Oh my god. Yeah, that is so. Oh my god. Sorry. Yes. Terrible movie. Terrible movie. This was in the string of like when I was obsessed with old Eddie Murphy, but the new Eddie Murphy that was coming out was like Night Professor 2, or it was Bowfinger, which wasn't that great, even though on rewatches it's gotten a little better. Showtime was so bad. Oh my god, I completely blocked it out.
I'm sorry to make you remember it.
Yeah, 1 star. I stand by my review. I'm surprised I gave it 1 star.
Yeah, it's like it probably is the worst De Niro film I've ever seen.
De Niro's had some terrible movies. He's had some really bad ones. So
it's one of those cases where you've just seen him just go, yeah, you needed a bit of money, didn't you, mate?
Yeah.
You had a new house you wanted to buy.
Yep.
It's that Michael Caine quote of why he did Jaws film, just like, I wanted a new house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You see that a lot. I mean, Adam Sandler, another case of that.
Just about bringing him up. This is personally one of my favorite of his films, but I only have as a 1 star. Click.
Yeah, I hate Click. I have a real problem when movies conclude by warning a character about doing a certain set of actions. The character does the actions, and then at the end of it, you go, "All right, we're gonna start it over anyways because that feels nice." And
Fair.
like everything that Adam Sandler's character is warned about in that movie, he's warned about before, and he does anyways. And then he gets to the end as an old man, he's full of regret and gets a break. And I just felt like it went back on a lot of the themes and messages of the movie, and just made it completely not counter matter and made it pointless to me. Kate Beckinsale looks amazing in the movie.
She does.
That's why I did make it a 1 star. She was great. But yeah, I just thought it was just like a lot of bland fart jokes, bland humor, and went back on some of the risks and tough themes it was trying to explain and expel earlier in the movie by just kind of undoing it at the end. And another movie that I liked a little bit but didn't like as much as a lot of people because of this is the movie Chef. I feel like a lot of Chef has so much heart and it's about going out on your own and, you know, following your own path and following your own passion, yet he ends up caring so much about what the critic wants and critic thinks, and he wants to fall back into the line of the restaurant world by the end of the movie, that's the ultimate goal and the ultimate sign of success rather than pursuing his passion and art in his way. And I just felt like that kind of goes back on its theme, if that makes any sense. Maybe I'm kind of off on that.
No, it kind of makes sense. Like that thing where you don't like a movie if the stakes that it sets up doesn't matter at the end.
Yeah.
If like It's a Wonderful Life, oh, you're back to normal, it's great. Like
Yeah.
you kind of like, well, what the fuck did I just watch for an hour and a half?
Yeah, it has to really, really work for that risk to, I guess, work for that risk to be taken, in my opinion. And just sometimes I feel like it goes back on the themes that the movie is trying to expel and talk about. So,
yeah,
Showtime, man, I haven't thought about that movie. I can't believe I rated that movie. That's so crazy. Sorry,
I saw it and I was there just. It's legit. I watched it 3 weeks ago, and it's legitimately one of the most hated movies I've ever watched in my life.
Maybe it was because I saw you on Letterboxd review it, so I just clicked on it and like rated it at because I'm obsessed with my Letterboxd. I'm a Patreon on there, so I support the site. I live on there, so
it's such a good site.
Yeah, it's great.
But we were saying about going to movies and just like. I just want to know why the hell cats? Why? Just why did you put yourself through that?
Well, Regal Movie Pass, so unlimited movie pass, so it costs me no money to go to. Marijuana edibles, so I had a lot of those before I went in, and maybe not enough or maybe too much based on that movie.
I was about to say your quote was, "This edible was too strong or not strong enough. What the hell was that?"
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. I couldn't find anybody to go with me, so I did go solo to this one, which I respect everybody who turned me down for this movie afterwards.
I can understand why.
Yeah, it was one of my worst of the year.
Yeah, there's just nothing. Like, it's gonna go down as like. I keep hearing people say it's gonna be like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. People come in to watch it to sing along and do all the shit together. And I've just been watching parts of it, just like, no, this should be locked in a room.
Yeah, and I saw it with 2 other old women in the theater. So there's 3 people. They didn't even like it either. And this was before they touched up the CGI on it also. So
you saw the hand?
Yeah, it was fucking really wild. That's when I was just like having to remind myself to breathe and just like, just we're gonna make it through this.
Right. I know Adeline Spence keeps saying about how she loves it, and they're just like, have you been out in the head recently? Are you okay?
I mean,
do we need to get you medication?
And this is the beautiful part of cinema is that we can all like different movies. So
we can, but everyone should hate cats.
I'm jealous. The movie that I hated but loved from last year would be Serenity. That movie was absolute shit show with Matthew McConaughey and Hathaway, Jason Clarke. It reveals its twist like awkwardly halfway through the movie, and then it doesn't twist anything else up or anything like that, and it's just like that was a twist, and we still have half a movie to go. Oh, we're still going.
Oh,
It was just like it just got really awkward, really dark. But yeah, that's the one that I love to hate from last year. But Cats is just shit.
yeah.
Sorry, Adelaide.
All right. But another one from last year that I saw I kept seeing the trailers for it today, and it's just like I thought it looked half decent, but Queen and Slim.
Oof, yeah. This one was a whiff for me, man. Yeah, go ahead.
Just say the way that I've heard it is that it's the perfect second film to go with Get Out. Just like if you're in.
Yeah, so maybe this is good for some people who haven't thought about a lot of these issues maybe as much as I have. And I've so I don't want to sound like I'm woke or something because I'm not, but it's just I think that this movie overall just had a lot of conveniences in it, yet tried to pretend it was grounded in like this realistic like movie happening in real life, yet it would have like decisions made for like an artistic decision where it'd be like, wow, they're still like that's all they did to be unrecognizable. They're still the same people, and they're driving around in like a car that's like very, very obvious color and very, very detectable. And like they're like, it's like she has her gunshot wound exposed the whole time. Like it's just like at the end of the day, just like a really bad Tinder date. That's all it was. But it's just like, and like it was just like I didn't buy when it would go for like hugely dramatic moments, like when a particular character would kill a particular law enforcement or something. I didn't buy the decisions being made and why they're being made. And then there again, similar to The Mist, there'd be like super dramatic moments with like this huge music, this score bearing down on me. I'm supposed to be like crying and be like, oh my God. And I'm just like, like, and yet this music is like, like, and I'm just like, oh God. Like, and I predicted the ending, which I don't predict endings often. And if I do, that means I'm really being taken out of the movie. And then if I do predict it, it means that wasn't probably the most clever way of going about it. But like, yeah, I just I went in with expectations, and they were not met, to say the least. And I thought that Daniel Kaluuya and Jodie Turner-Smith, I believe is her name.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, they're both really hot. So that was great. And it was just it was so pretty, and so had some great music, but just it was all for naught and kind of wasted. It felt like like I think my review probably said the same thing, but felt like a Pure Flix movie mixed with like a hip hop DVD or hip hop music video. Like in Pure Flix is like the super religious Christian movie.
Oh, yeah, God's Not Dead.
Yeah, like Kirk Cameron. Like it felt like a hip hop version of one of those movies. So to me, like
nice.
Like if this movie to you is like revealing like themes you haven't thought about in a revelatory way, like then you probably just haven't thought about this too much, in my opinion.
Yeah,
it's like being blown away by Crash or something, or Green Book.
Oh, okay. Honestly, I like Crash quite a bit, but
I get if you liked it, but if you think that this is profound and eye-opening for ways about race relations, and then when you look into like how it was written by Paul Hager after he was mugged and robbed and carjacked by like it's like, oh my God, he realized that all races are like, it's like, God Lord, like when I guess that's not the movie's fault. Sometimes they let extra noise from the outside distract my love of a movie, I think.
But yeah, it's still situations where you just like you can just see something like, and it makes the movie even better or worse.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but speaking of a movie that did that and ended up being terrible, Tusk.
Oh yeah, this is
just say you've got two as a 1-star from Kevin Smith, Tusk and Zack and Miri Make a Porno. Mm-hmm. Two very different films in this genre, like in his filmography. So, what about? Are you a fan of Smith? Off the top of my head, be like knowing how much you like to medicate. and like
Yeah.
it should have like Clerk should be a movie that you
Wait,
adore.
I'm gonna take you with me. I'm gonna grab some water because I'm a little cottonmouth right now.
All right.
Yeah. So Kevin Smith, I would say, I really, really like his movies. I would not describe myself as a fanatic of Kevin Smith. I would say I really like Mallrats, Clerks 2. I love Tusk and Zack and Miri Make a Porno. Those are definitely my two least favorite of his. I think I've seen just about every Kevin Smith though, so I'd say I'm overall a fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tusk just didn't work for me. It felt like, I could definitely tell it was written by Kevin Smith. And like, I don't mean that in a good way. It just felt like he dictated a lot of the script out, like on his like cell phone, like just speaking into a recorder, and like that's how he wrote the movie. And I know he came up with the idea on a podcast, and you can tell. I like the performance by is it Michael Parker?
Oh, Michael Parks, yeah. He's in Red State as well.
Yeah, and I do have a nice fan. Thank you very much. Like Tusk just to me, like the shocking humor, and like it didn't really work for me that well. And I think it's one of my least favorite A24 movies as well.
I was about to say, in your review of it, it's your worst favorite. You found your least favorite A24 film.
Yeah.
And I've just realized as well, you hate any film that Justin Long is in, directed by Kevin Smith?
No,
because he's got a point as well in Zack and Miri.
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't even realize I hated Zack and Miri that much, but I guess it just again was forgettable to me. And when my hair was longer, I looked a little more like Seth Rogen or poor man's T.J. Miller, according to Caleb Boatman. Yeah, thanks a lot, T.J. Miller. Great.
Yeah, what a great person to be called at this moment in time.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody wants to be confused with T.J. fucking Miller. I have high expectations for Seth Rogen films, so when they disappoint me, like Zack and Miri did, I guess. But Tusk, just I don't ever want to see that again. I saw it because I was going through all my A24 movies, and I can't think of an A24 movie I like less.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where you're just like, I'm just gonna put this away, very far away.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna.
But it just bored me.
All right, so we're gonna jump up now to your highest star ratings. So I normally ask this after we talk about favorite films, but how do you actually do your star ratings? So what did the stars actually mean to you?
Yeah, so I try to keep it very, very personal. So even a 5-star movie for me doesn't necessarily have to be perfect. It just has to be perfect to me. So, I guess that sometimes it is going to be just like a perfect movie also, but if it doesn't connect with me, I may still be a 4.5 or a 4 star. So my star rating isn't the most consistent. It's just consistent for me. So I don't do it for other people. Honestly,
it's more about you just putting yours down rather than
just because some of my 5-star movies, and then you'll have others of my 3-star movies, and it will just be like it just depends. It depends on how I feel about the movie. So,
all right. So moving on to your 4 stars. So this was one I saw, and I was just like, I don't know what the hell this movie is. I don't want to know anything about this movie. I want you to explain it to me. The Death of Dick Long.
Yes.
So I'm not guessing this is like kind of what Zack and Miri Make a Porno was a bit about.
No. This is very different. So this is an A24 movie. It came out this year. It did not have a theatrical release. It's kind of like Fargo in the middle of the boonies. It begins with a very, very unfortunate accident with an individual and a horse, and that's all I'll say. And then it's just the fallout from there. It is by one of the directors of Swiss Army Man, which came out a few years ago with
Oh
Paul
yeah,
Dano
the
and
Daniel Radcliffe
Daniel
farting
Radcliffe.
movie.
Yep. And so a ton of farts, super weird. So one half of those directors, and it's just it's a cool movie because it's just like it's about a group of people who doesn't usually have movies made about them. So you get kind of a unique perspective. They're total idiots, and it's just one of these movies that like the whole time you're like, oh god, what are you do? No, what are you doing? Like,
Nice.
yeah, and the name definitely sets you up for a wild ride.
All right. It kind of sounds like what's it called? Fargo meets Tucker and Dale versus Pure Evil.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, kind of similar to those. I love Tucker and Dale versus.
It's so good.
Such a great movie. It's hilarious.
All right, and next one to mention. I'm trying to think of a good one to go after that one. Here we go. Let's go with this one. So we're talking about a movie from last year, A24, not released. Let's go to a 60s film by Kubrick, Dr. Strangelove.
Yes, love it.
How come that's a 4-star, not a 5-star? How come it didn't make that step for you? Just what was it?
So I saw this later on. I saw this pretty recently, like within the last year, I'd say. And maybe I think what maybe kept it from getting into 4.5, 5-star range was that I really did love it. I did appreciate it, but maybe the hype a little bit affected me with it. So I went in maybe just maybe I found my attention waning a few points in it. I am very ADHD, so that isn't necessarily the movie's fault, but maybe I punished it a little bit there. Also, sometimes, again, with my rating, because it's inconsistent, sometimes I get in my head if I'm rating for myself or for others at points. So maybe with that, I was like, oh, I'm giving out too many 4.5, too many 5 stars. And I think if I go back to my watch list in a string of when I saw Dr. Strangelove, I think I had saw a string of quite a few pretty great movies at that point. So maybe it was just by comparison to movies around it a little bit. But
fair. So it was one of those cases where it's just like you watch classics around it, just like sometimes it just doesn't stand up.
Like this one was just like of the last 5, maybe the one that wasn't as great or something.
Fair enough. And speaking, moving fast on par with Doctor Strange, the cultural impact, the emotional impact that it's had on cinema. Arnold Schwarzenegger's Jingle All the Way.
Yes.
Turbo Man. How much should you, if you had the opportunity to get Turbo Man right now, how much would you pay for one?
Man. $5,000.
That makes sense.
Yeah. $5,000. I mean, that's a movie that I can go back and again watch all the time and acknowledge all the faults about it. And if it's again like I don't judge people who see it now as an adult and are like, that was terrible. How do you like that? Same reason how when I see E.T. and say that was terrible, don't judge me. They're just as good at movies. E.T. and Jingle All the Way.
Yeah, I can see that. It is capitalism in the movie, but it's still great.
Yeah,
the fight scene of Santa.
Yeah.
But I'm actually curious about this because we were talking about Jewishness earlier. It's like you got this and an apocalypse. How was he watching Christmas films? Was Christmas something that you grew up with, or was it just like something that you just watched from afar, just like I want to be a part of that?
Well, yes and no. Like I grew up as one of the 2 Jewish kids in my entire like town, so like everybody was Christian, like and I just like Christmas. I was just like I didn't celebrate, but like all the movies that were Christmas movies, I would watch them. So like I mean, we had Hanukkah, which is nowhere near Christmas, but we tried with our 8 nights of gifts.
I was about to say you get more gifts.
One fucking movie.
What, 8 Crazy Nights?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. One movie.
I know. I'm kind of shocked that it's not anymore. Like, you have that Rugrats episode.
Yeah, that's true. We have 2. We have 2 Rugrats episodes. We have the Hanukkah one and then the Passover episode.
Oh God, yes.
Passover episode's epic. So yeah, like there's plenty of like flesh to be, taken from there, but oh well. Maybe Yorgos will make a Hanukkah movie.
Hopefully. Oh, Sandler goes back to it. So speaking around with 8 Crazy Nights, you got 50 First Dates.
Yes.
So if I'm not mistaken, that was also one of the highest, apart from like the Punch Drunk Gloves and Uncut Gems, this was the highest comedy that you had for Sandler.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Well, no, that would be Lil Nicky,
oh, okay.
unless I didn't rate it. But Lil Nicky is 5 stars.
All right. Well, okay. Well, Nicky then. How come that's the best Sandler film? Like, what's about it?
Oh my god, I love Lil Nicky. There's this. It is probably the movie I reference more than any other movie. And people all the time will not understand the reference, as very few people have seen, or if they have seen, remember Lil Nicky. But the humor in it is just, I just love the humor, all the characters. It's Lil Nicky's voice in that movie, Rodney Dangerfield, the talking dog, Quentin Tarantino as a blind priest.
Oh shit!
Yeah, like when he's like trying to be evil, he changes a Coke into a Pepsi, and his roommate opens it, and he's like, "This Coke tastes like Pepsi." Then he leaves the room, and he's like, "You changed the Coke into Pepsi. That was your big transaction." It's like, it's pretty good for my first try. Like, I just think that movie is just so fucking funny and just like so stupid and just I love it. It's a movie. I'm a Patreon member of the Wangers show. So anybody who's familiar with the Wangers, I always will make a commentary recommendation for Lil Nicky. They continue to not take me up on it, but I continue to mention it.
Keep trying until they do.
Like, we just don't think there's an audience for us. Like, I'll watch it 1,000,000 times.
Yeah.
1,000,000. But yeah. Besides that, 50 First Dates. I love 50 First Dates. If you do want to talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably the best. Was that and Wedding Singer as the best Drew Barrymore Sandler?
I love both. I love both those. So to be honest, I didn't like Blended, but those two I really.
Yeah, I was about to say no one likes Blended.
Yeah.
We all try and forget Blended existed.
Yeah, but 50 First Dates and Wedding Singer I'd put on level playing field. I'm a sucker for the rom-coms. I'm a hopeless romantic. And movies like that, just 50 First Dates, like I would love to be in that situation and just have that, like, not necessarily, but when I was a kid watching it, I was like watching and being like, I'd love to be in that situation and be able to rescue a girl from herself like that, and help her remember who she is every day. Like, I just thought it was so beautiful, and like, again, these ensembles with like funny characters, like Rob Schneider's character, and it's hilarious, and just like, I saw it as a kid before. I was like deciphering movies and just being like, there's something wrong here, here, and here, like all that. So
it's an interesting one because I love that movie, but then I realized like she was pregnant, and so she woke up every morning just like.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, there's lots of parts of it where you break it down and it really doesn't work. But as like when I watched it as like a 12 or 13-year-old and like just imagined like being that Prince Charming guy, like I was like, yeah, I could make it work. It would be great. I'd change all the newspapers. It would just be great.
It'd be good. All right. So jumping up half star. So we're going from one of Sandler's greatest films, That's My Boy. His son in that movie, Andy Samberg, Hot Rod.
Yes.
You got 4.5 stars. So why do you like a movie about a daredevil that wants to beat up his stepfather?
Oh, it's just, it's just full of just beautiful, beautiful, heartfelt moments. It makes me laugh more than any movie probably from the last 15 to 20 years. I've seen it so many times, especially when I was back in college. I used to just like go to sleep to it. Like, it just was, I know it's such an odd movie to go to sleep to, but I knew it so well that like I never, like, certain movies, if you go to sleep to them, you're like kind of while watching, you're like, don't know them well, but like movie like that, it's like I know it so well I can watch it with my eyes closed, and just like the cool bean scene is just my favorite thing like ever. Just, it's so great. The whole premise of just raising money to help his dad, to cure his dad's illness so he can kick his ass, like, just what a beautiful, as someone who lost her dad at a young age, I never had the opportunity to save my dad from an illness so I could beat his ass. So maybe just living vicariously through the film, I'm just like, oh, if that could be me.
Oh,
Yeah,
if only I could hate my dad and want to beat him
exactly.
up.
I didn't get that fucking chance. Damn it. But like, yeah, sorry, a little dark, but it's my fucking life. I can make jokes about it. No one can get offended by that shit.
Any
But yeah,
complaints, send it to him.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, go ahead. I'll be making an announcement that I'm withdrawing from my podcast. I'm sorry, I don't even know. I don't even know what's going on with that, so I won't make jokes about it. Sorry. I've never listened to any of those podcasts. I'm so confused by why people are leaving groups I'm in and all this, and just like
I'll explain off camera. Off camera. But
yeah, but I should probably not be mentioning that on
don't worry.
camera. But I don't listen to any of these people. I don't know any of these people. If I've said this before, I'll say it again. In these communities, I'm like the new kid still. Even though I've been around a while, I'm still the new kid. Like, I don't have managers. I don't have study groups. I don't have factions. I have a different teammate every other week because I just can't hold on to one. I hold on to Russell, but it's not like we speak. Like, I just play fucking matches every once in a while together, and he has another teammate in all the other leagues. I just feel like, the new kid. But anyways, I'm sorry. Enough about me. Let's get back to the movies here.
I do.
Garth watched it live. See, I don't know what he watched live, and I didn't mean to bring this up, but I just wish I knew and wish I could care so I can follow this because it sounds juicy. But you'll explain it off camera. That's fine. Let's get back.
All right, so let's get back on as
focus. Thank you for everybody watching. I really appreciate it. Even if it's just Garth, I appreciate it.
And it's been quite a few people.
Yeah.
So this is a movie that got recommended to me. Speaking about Noah Baumbach, where I go away, so I'm kind of interested to get your take on it. Frances Ha.
Yes.
Saw
this recently. Go
ahead. So it's Gerwig as an actress in it, and it's directed by Baumbach, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, I love this movie. And it's a movie that I'm glad I saw recently or didn't see earlier on before I was ready to see it, I guess. It's just another one of these movies about kind of the scariness of going out on your own, being your own person, going for your dreams, failing, just all of these complex emotions, and still throughout it all, like having a bit of grace to it. And just like, it was just beautifully shot. It honestly feels like a secret sequel to Lady Bird, or Lady Bird is a secret prequel to Frances Ha.
Oh, okay.
Like, they go together very well. I loved Lady Bird, and this feels like the Lady Bird character graduating, moving out to New York and failing, and just like, I don't know, I just really related to her, and it just really was a beautifully done movie. Noah Baumbach really has some amazing movies, and Marriage Story is getting a ton of love, but Frances Ha for me may rate up there a little bit higher, or on the same type of just beautifully done movie. I love Black and White too. Black and White, I think is.
Oh, it's Black and White.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Black and White is very effective to me, and it's just really, really well done, nice movie, great themes. Yeah,
I'll have to give a watch time.
I recommend.
Have you heard the new movie that they're both doing together?
No.
So it's going to be Gerwig directed. Baumbach's going to write it. Barbie.
I'm all in.
Like, it's going to be so interesting.
That's incredible. I can't. They were divorced in real life, and then you see Marriage Story, and it's just like.
No, wasn't it? They're married now, but it was go.
I think they're divorced now.
No, I think it was some. I think they're married. They're married now because it was going to be the first time a married couple were. With little women. It was Jennifer. I'm going to Google this because Jennifer something. It was his ex.
I thought Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach are currently married.
They are currently dating. And Jennifer Jason Leigh. They were married.
Oh, okay, good. Well, I'm glad. I wish them all the best, and didn't mean to stir up more controversy after bringing up my previous controversies. Just like this is the controversial section of the podcast here. I'm trying. All right.
I'm just going to put it out. So the relationship with Jason Leigh ended in 2013. Frances Ha came out 2012. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying this was a Mr. and Mrs. type of deal.
Yeah, Noah, you got some explaining to do. I gotta say though, Noah Baumbach, good little run there with Jennifer Jason Leigh and then Greta Gerwig.
He's doing all right for himself.
Well done. No, especially have you seen what Noah Baumbach looks like? Go ahead. He looks like a
No,
he looks like a bird.
he does. He looks like the worst news reporter.
Yeah, and
He's
like
just like the most boring one.
yeah, but he's so good at writing and shit. Oh man, his game must be just immaculate. Shout out to you, Noah. But yeah, Francis Ha, highly recommend, and it kind of is the one that I feel like doesn't get brought up a lot with him. It's not as flashy, but really, yeah, good movie. Had some good cameos in it.
Nice. I will pick that up as soon as possible. All right. So we'll move on to 5 stars now. So this is. So you've got two. Well, you got 3 5 stars for animated. You got Toy Story, which if anyone just have that as an animated. Actually, sorry to tell you got 4. I thought the Aladdin was the 2019 one for a second there. You got Toy Story that if anyone doesn't have that as a 5 star, I doubt you're a human.
Yeah.
Aladdin, same situation. And a movie that I've told you that I hated before, Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yeah. I'm never gonna win this. I've tried to sell you on this before. This movie is so great. This is another one of the movies that it's right up there with my favorite movies of all time. It is just really just. I'm not a huge Wes Anderson fan. Often his tropes really annoy me, and I feel like in this movie either they're a little bit tempered or he doesn't quite do them as much. I feel like the stop motion animation is so perfect. The voice acting is amazing. The themes just, yeah, I just love this movie. And every time I see it, I love it a little bit more. So and I just can't think of too many movies that I like from the first time I see it and I like it more and more each time. And this movie, I really can say that with. And I just bring different things with it each time and just, yeah, encourages me. It makes me feel good. Makes me feel sad. Makes me feel happy.
Makes you want to steal apples from farms.
Exactly. It's just so relatable.
All right. And the other animated film that's really interesting here, especially knowing what your career is currently, 1961's 101 Dalmatians.
Yep.
How come that's the Disney film for you?
So so my business is I work as a dog trainer and a dog walker and a dog sitter. So all of my business is to do with dogs. The name of my company is Aaron the Dog Guy. So literally my whole life is dogs. From a young age, I've frankly been more comfortable around animals than people, and dogs particularly. And I was introduced to this book at a really young age. And then I realized there was a Disney movie. Went home and watched it one day and watched it like every day for all of first grade, probably. And when I got the Disney Plus app, the first thing I put on was the 101 Dalmatians animated, and it was kind of one of the craziest nostalgic trips I've had like ever. As soon as I put it on and heard the music and saw the opening credits, I could remember sitting in front of my tiny TV as a 5-year-old cross-legged staring at the TV from 1 foot in front of it. It's just, yeah, I just love the movie. It just has everything I love in a movie. It's the animation's fantastic. Yeah. How'd
you feel about the live action remake?
I really liked it. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember as a kid I really liked the live action, both 101 and 102. But I imagine they're not as good as the animated. I haven't gone back and watched them, but the animated held up when I rewatched it. Absolutely.
When Disney Plus finally gets over here in like March this year, I'll finally get a chance to watch it again.
Yeah, it's just like Cruella de Vil is just such a great villain. I mean, and just it's just I mean, you can like see the animation it's hand drawn. It's just like all the puppies have their own personalities. It's just I was able to watch it with my own dog recently, and like my dog watched the whole thing because it was like barking throughout it, and it's just like,
Oh,
yeah, it was like a super special experience, and like huge part of movies is like the experience of them, and yeah, for me, 101 Dalmatians from when I was a kid to 2 months ago when I watched it, it still makes me feel incredibly great and happy.
is that movie that connect that you said it's the one that just automatically sends you straight back to your childhood? Just like that's the one. Like if you ever want that feeling, just go
Yeah,
straight to
I
that.
have a ton of those movies because movies in my childhood are seriously like just like very, very connected for me. But yeah, definitely that. Back to the Future, a few other movies like that. Just anytime I see them, I can literally feel myself back when I saw them for the first times.
Speaking of Back to the Future,
Yes.
Back to the Future 2 is the only one you have as a 5-star. Is
Yeah.
that how come that one's your favorite of the trilogy?
I just really, really loved how it handled the future aspects of time travel. I thought if I ranked them, I'd say 2, 1, 3 would be
Yeah.
my order. But yeah, I thought that Biff was a fantastic villain in the movie, like, and just very, very kind of prophetic now that we see who's in office here.
Yeah.
Just like I don't know. I love the hoverboard. I loved the future. I thought it was a little more fun than the first one, which is an extremely fun movie. I thought the second one was even more fun and just maybe a little less heavy than the first. And just yeah, for me, the one I prefer.
A little less incest as well, which is always good for a movie.
Yeah. Which whatever. I like Game of Thrones too, and a few other. But
Star Wars.
yeah, Star Wars. Yeah, I've been into incest quite a bit when I look back at my history of things I'm into. But it's I'm not judging, but yeah, I mean, to this day I've rewatched all the Back to the Future movies recently, and still the second one to me I think is head and shoulders above the first one.
It does have a lot more
controversial to say that, I guess, but
I guess it's one of those ones where but the first one is the pinnacle of like I
Great
guess
movie.
in terms of like on its own, then the second one builds so much more on it. So it works so perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So if they were to do a Back to the Future reboot, who would play Marty and Doc?
So I'd say Marty would be played by Zendaya. So
that would be really interesting.
Yeah, I think that would definitely let's make it a little more complicated with the racial aspect, with the feminine aspect, and I think that she would just be like a good crazy she just work in it. So for Doc, Doc is, oh my god, that
Richard Grant.
That would be great. Yeah,
it's like this proper British, just like
yeah. So that would be beautiful. Richard E. Grant and Zendaya in a Back to the Future reboot, I'm all aboard.
Yeah, I'll take that.
All aboard, because then by doing that, you eliminate any of the temptation by the fucking writers to try to connect Zendaya to Marty McFly, because it's like they're not related. They're clearly separate. It's fine, and then you can tackle some different societal issues here that can't be tackled with Christopher Lloyd and Marty McFly and Michael J. Fox. So yeah, I like that. Zendaya, Richard E. Grant with Yorgos Lanthimos directing. Oh,
yeah. All right, screw it. We'll finish the show. We're gonna go Hollywood.
Or Gus Van Sant. Gus Van Sant can direct.
Guys, Zemeckis back. He's still kicking about doing shit.
Yeah, exactly.
That Work with the Marwin was his last one, wasn't it?
Yeah. That didn't.
Let's not talk about that.
Nope. Yes.
All right. So next one.
Sorry, my dog's gonna bark a little in the background. That's Chico.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Fred mercifully is very quiet at the moment. So, all right. What I want to talk about is always one that interests me that people like these films, because I've just never gotten into them. Like the Saw franchise, you have the original Saw as a 5-star. Like how, just the whole idea of touch upon, is that something? Was it just the first movie that got hooked you, or was it like, oh, are you interested in that type of horror?
So I'll start with the torture porn aspect of it. Actually, I kind of resent and disagree with that label, especially for the first one. You can go back and actually there's not very much gore or gruesome aspects of that movie, and a lot of it is actually looked away from when it does happen.
Okay.
But yeah, the first one I saw one day when I was skipping school with a bunch of my friends in the middle of the day, and it was the only movie playing. I had never seen a trailer for it or anything like that. I was like, the Saw movie is playing. Let's go to that. Um, and we walked in, and actually, we walked in like a couple minutes too late. And so I walked in, and like we were like a little confused about what was going on. But like, I sat down and then quickly was kind of just sold by the movie. And then I'm a huge fan of conclusions. And the last like 90 seconds of the movie, it fills in about 300 different plot holes and makes you go like, oh, like, and as a 16-year-old, like, I just loved it. And I just hadn't really seen anything like it before. And Jigsaw to me was like an incredible villain. I thought he made a lot of sense in a lot of his motives actually. And
Okay.
I just thought that the movie was a lot smarter and a lot more well intentioned and clever than a lot of people realized. And then as they went on, they became more about the traps and more about the gore and more about like the shock than
Yeah.
what it really started out about, which was about a guy who was sick, who was trying to get people who took their lives for granted to appreciate their lives and be better people and not just say they're better people, but actually do it and feel, appreciative of their lives and like things like that. And just like kind of as an angry teen, I kind of just kind of related to a lot of these themes in this movie and actually was like, this movie is actually not this like gross torture, like violent movie people are labeling it as.
Okay.
And it, yeah, so the first Saw to this day, it's just kind of a movie I love. The first three Saws I really love. And Saw 3, I actually bought out all the seats at my movie theater and sold them for $1 more to everybody at my high school. So the entire midnight showing of Saw 3 was my entire high school. So like, it was just a bunch of drunk high schoolers in a movie theater seeing Saw 3. And I didn't do a lot of cool stuff as a high schooler. So this was like my like moment of fame where like people knew who I was. Because like everybody wanted a ticket to this premiere. Like, oh, I need a ticket to the Saw 3 movie. Like I made like $500.
I was about to say, just also adding $1 on, just like that's genius. Just like
and like
supplying
everybody wanted to go, and everybody like no one knew my name in high school. And then all of a sudden, people who like I had like idolized were like coming up to me and like being like, "Hey, Aaron," I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh, need a ticket to Saw 3." I was like, "Yeah." Like just like it was the coolest thing I did. So I'm always gonna love those movies. And just like but the first one, the first couple really aren't the torture porn things that a lot of people think they are actually. So I think they have quite a bit of brains to them. And a lot of movies I end up really loving. Midsommar was my favorite movie of last year. And that's another movie that a lot of people have seen and snap judged, I think. And I think it has quite a bit of I think it has quite a bit of brains and quite a bit of
it's
makes
more
quite a bit of sense, more sense than people give it credit for.
than meets the eye of just what you
Yeah,
see
it's a
on.
really smart movie about like betrayal and truly being there for someone you're supposed to be in a relationship with and care for, and what love truly is, and honesty, and just a whole bunch of shit. And yeah, same with the Saw movie. I think Saw is just a brilliant movie.
Awesome. How do you feel about the new one? Chris Rock is rebooting.
I'm optimistic. I'm definitely going to see it, and I think it has potential. I think that the subject matter has a ton of potential to be really relatable, and if someone who really understands it and doesn't just make it about the tricks and traps and about the shocks, and tries to really make it more grounded and smart, I think it can really be successful.
Yeah, honestly, if you do it in a sense of in a style of Get Out and that style of that wise type of horror, it'd be very interesting.
Yeah, I just think lower the budget, really make it about the characters and the motives, and make it much more real. But yeah, I think Chris Rock, I think that comedy and horror are very, very similar.
Yeah.
And so that's why guys like Jordan Peele have been so successful. And so I look forward to it. I'm really glad that they're not leaving it alone. Jigsaw was not great. And it can do better. So I'm glad it's coming back.
Excellent. All right, and the last one that I want to bring up is a film that stars the director of Rocket Man and Sting. Can you think of what it is?
Director of Rocket Man and Fletcher. What Fletcher movie? No, I don't know.
The 1998's Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. I have to finish.
Oh, Guy Ritchie. Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, this is a good one. Yeah.
Yep. So how come that one resonate with you? Because looking at rest of the films that you have is kind of like this one's very much an outlier. It feels like.
So I have a bucket list on my wall. It's 100 movies bucket list checklist, and one of them on there was Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. And the only other guy. This is Guy Ritchie, right?
Yeah, Guy Ritchie.
Okay, yeah. So the only other Guy Ritchie movies that I had scene that I could think of is Snatch, which I did not love, and the Robin Hood movie, I believe, which also not.
Yeah, no one should like that one.
Yeah, so I went into this with very low expectations, and as a poker player, as a gambler, I kind of like that angle to it. I love the ensemble, the characters. I thought that the way it was shot was really frenetic and really effective, and just kind of the roots of what makes Guy Ritchie. And yeah, I just dug the movie as a whole. I love movies with card games involved in them, just overall. Like,
yeah. So, how do you feel about Rounders then? Because I know me and Brooklyn play poker a lot, and we talk about that movie all the time.
Yeah, Rounders was hugely influential for me as a kid. When I was watching the World Series of Poker as a kid and then saw this movie, I decided I wanted to be a pro poker player. And I stole my mom's credit card and started playing online poker, and paid my way through college with my poker, and moved out to Vegas for 6 months and played poker professionally out there. So I love Rounders. Rounders is one of those movies that I can rewatch as much as any other movie. Edward Norton's character is great in it. John Malkovich. It's just a fantastic movie.
So good.
So great.
Like that and Good Will Hunting as the two best Matt Damon films.
Yeah, Matt Damon has a lot of. Ford vs. Ferrari is going to be up there for me now. And Martian, I really like. Good Will Hunting's great.
Oh, Team America as well.
Talented Mr. Ripley, I just saw for the first time, and that movie is wild. Okay. That movie is wild. Highly recommend it.
Nice. I'll have to give it a watch.
Yeah.
All right. So we've gone quite a few movies here. Were there any that we were expecting? Sorry, but you said Guy Ritchie did a Robin Hood movie. Which one? He did Robin Hood. Russell Crowe, didn't he?
Was it Robin Hood or King Arthur? I meant King Arthur. I'm sorry. It was King Arthur that he did. My apologies. So it was the new King Arthur that Guy Ritchie did, not Robin Hood.
Oh yeah, King Arthur.
Yeah, the new Robin Hood was Gavin Hood, I think. Right?
Yes.
Am I wrong? Or was I right? Come on down. New Robin Hood.
New Robin Hood.
With Taron Egerton.
Director. Taron Egerton. Otto Badhurst.
Damn it. Oh man, I would have felt so cool if I got that right. Gavin Hood didn't do Robin Hood. They would have brought that up. They would have made way more fun of that. But yeah, no, my fault. Guy Ritchie was the King Arthur movie. Those were the Guy Ritchie.
I was thinking Ridley Scott. Oh, I only write the questions. I don't have to answer them correctly. Damn it.
Yeah. Yep. There you go.
All right. So as I was saying, we brought up quite a few films here. Was there any that we want to speak about, but we didn't touch, or ones that you were expecting me to bring up?
I was like expecting maybe, I guess I brought up Midsommar, but yeah, I was expecting maybe a little bit about that. I'm trying to think what else. No, I mean, I can always talk about pretty much anything, any of these movies. Like all my favorites, I expect you to bring up. I don't think there's, E.T. I was expecting to come up, which I didn't love. So,
No. So,
my favorite movie of this year so far is the new Bad Boys movie. So
oh,
that's how year's gone so far. So
that's a good sign.
yeah. But it's only January. I don't think there's necessarily. I mean, yeah, I got to bring up Friday, which definitely had an impact on me growing up. Yeah. Did I beat Jake's record yet?
We have beaten Jake's record.
The fucking longest episode. That's all I care about. So yeah, I want to keep going, but whatever other questions you have, if people still want to listen to us, or if you want to leave, I understand too. But I can keep going. You can get weird. Let's get weird. I want to make this record unattainable because right now this is an hour 50. Someone's gonna come on and be able to beat this easily, so we can keep going.
All right then. Let me keep. But whilst I'm looking through a few more, just a quick. How dangerous is shoulder? How dangerous is shoulder? Since you're into UFC, like goes to the McGregor match, just like. Seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I won a lot of money on that.
Nice.
I did bet on Conor McGregor first round KO, so that was a nice little. But yeah, I've never seen anything like that. So there are a lot of people today in the gyms practicing shoulder strikes. So yeah, he's incredible.
It's remarkable. Like, what? He's over a year and a half out of the octagon, and then comes back and just like, oh yeah, I've just destroy one of the best fighters of all time.
Yeah, Garth. You should highlight Garth's comment there. I agree with him. Well, we're gonna go 3.5 hours now because of that, Garth. Let me just pack a bowl real quick and get some more water. But I'll smoke off screen. That was incredible. Warrior, great MMA movie. Have you seen Warrior?
I've not, but I've heard so much about it. Like,
it's a fantastic movie. I do love all the love it's gotten on a lot of these all-decade lists. Joel Edgerton, I think, is just one of these guys who kind of anytime there's a Joel Edgerton movie that comes out, I'm excited about it. The Gift, for example, is definitely one of my favorite kind of random thriller movies of the last few years. If you haven't seen The Gift.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah. The Gift's great. He directed that too.
Yeah. He did First Reformed as well, didn't he?
Yep. No, First Reformed was that Joel Edgerton? I know it was written by Paul Schrader, the guy who did Taxi Driver.
Oh no, he did Boy Erased.
Boy Erased. Okay, yeah. Boy Erased I did not see. So I guess yeah.
I've watched most of it. It's very good, but it's very just like, oh boy.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the subject matter, and I think it would be pretty frustrating to watch for that. But that doesn't stop me from watching movies necessarily. But yeah, First Reformed was a good one. That's another A24 with Ethan Hawke. Yep, that's one that definitely, when you're kind of in a little bit of an existential dread, does not help to watch that movie. That movie will send you right down the path. So make sure you're feeling nice and strong mentally if you go into that movie, because it will wear on you.
All right, I'm just picking up. I remember watching this one from a while ago about MMA. Well, it's bare knuckle brawling. The Channing Tatum film Fighting. Did you ever watch it?
No, I have not. Terrible?
It's okay. It's the movie where I made the bet that Channing Tatum would win an Oscar in that decade.
Oh.
I've still not yet to get my money.
Yeah. He's good luck with that one.
Foxcatcher was incredible in. It's like he's done quite a few films where he's really good. So
Foxcatcher really got no love. It's so strange.
Yeah, it's
they did take some liberties in that movie and change some facts around, which I think kind of made some people frustrated. But Steve Carell is excellent in that movie.
It's like that was the first one of his where he was like, he went, "Oh, I'm going to be a serious actor now." Like, and I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, you are good, like scary good."
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of Carell, what's your favorite Carell comedy?
So I mean, I'd say 40-Year-Old Virgin, I guess, if I'm being a little bit boring. But the thing that was interesting was when I saw 40-Year-Old Virgin, I was still a virgin at the time. So
Okay.
not to humble brag here. I know I said at the time. So, but when you watch that movie before you lose your virginity, it's not much of a comedy. It's kind of a horror movie because you're like, am I gonna be the 40-year-old virgin? Like, I just know that as before I lost my virginity, I thought I was gonna be a virgin forever. So when there were movies that would like American Pie I'd watch or 40-Year-Old Virgin I'd watch before that, I was always like terrified of them kind of and like not able to kind of laugh at them completely because I was like, what if this ends up being me? This is a horror movie. This is not a comedy. But yeah, I'd say Anchorman definitely has a place in my heart. What about you?
Probably Anchorman. Just like that movie was just like perfection at the time, but I watched it and just like then.
What do you
Like,
think about Anchorman 2?
I don't think of it.
Oh, come on. It's not that bad.
It's fine, but it's like
It's funny.
It's a mediocre film compared to one of the greatest ones.
Yeah.
Like I think I'm on this thing recently where I think that Farrell only really had like a 4-year period of being hilarious. Then after that, he just completely just like, oh no, you're not funny anymore, mate. It's like you had from Old School pretty much to the 40-Year-Old Virgin, stuff like that. And then it's like he was good in The Other Guys, which is like a one-off, and that he was playing a different type of character, and like Stranger from Fiction, he was great in, but it's just like anything for the last 5 years that he's done is god awful.
Yeah, Stranger in Fiction, I like that a lot.
Okay. And I'm just all right. Here we are. So since you got these two coming. Actually, this is an interesting one. So the only MCU film that it looks like you've got on your 5 stars, Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yes, this is a hot take.
How come that one is the one of the 22?
I think that what really tied it together. First of all, I thought the humor throughout it worked completely for me. I had a great time with the humor throughout it. It was really funny and consistent. I don't watch every MCU movie, so
okay.
I watch the big ones and then the ones that interest me, I guess. And I just like kind of liked how this movie never took itself totally seriously. And then the father-son elements in it, I found really effective and emotional. And just longing for your father, and then the idea of suddenly having him burst back into your life like this, and him turn from a hero to a villain to just, kind of all the way around. It just, I don't know. It just really, it got to me. And then the playing of the Cat Stevens father and son song in that movie made me cry really, really hard.
That's
really, really. I'd never heard that song before.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and like I just. At the time I didn't know that song was like not for that movie, so I thought it was part of the movie. And just like when they're just giving the farewell to the blue dude and like all the the fireworks, just like I just thought it was really, really beautiful and really heartfelt and just made me feel good. And I just liked going to a movie like that where I wasn't thinking about how it connected to this or that and like what it was, the impact. I was like, that was just like fun ragtag, cool ensemble of characters. And like, I wish I had that chance to rekindle my relationship with my dad like that. And like, just like brother stuff, father and stuff, son stuff, romantic stuff, all really gets to me pretty easily. So even if it's done kind of bad or cloyingly, I love that shit. And yeah, it just works for me.
Yes. That's the stuff that just like you eat up no matter what. Just like as long as it's half decent, you'll take. All right. Right. So it's past midnight here, so I'm gonna wrap it up. So there's one last film that I want to do. Okay. I'll bring you on for a second round. That'd be absolutely no worries there.
I'd love to be on again. It's been super fun. Thanks for.
No worries. What I'll do is I'll do like in like a couple more episodes, I'll do like a double bill where I'll have you and someone else that's already been on just to talk about films that you both rate like terrible, different.
Yeah,
That'd be interesting.
I'm available anytime. But yeah, let's
Right.
wrap it up with a good one. We're
Well,
going over 2 hours. I love it.
yeah, we say it's a good one. This one, you have half a star.
Yep.
Why do you hate Liam Neeson as a cowboy? In A Million Days to Die in the West, Seth MacFarlane.
I think this is a safe one to end on here. Like, who likes this movie? It was just like extremely not funny and just like I just I just was like it just was like along the lines of like a grown-ups type of movie where it's just like he hired a bunch of his friends to be in this movie. It was like a ton of super talented actors and actresses who just like didn't want to be there and weren't making funny jokes. I get bored with westerns, so when it's a bad western like this, I was just like totally miserable with it. It's not funny. It was just like it was like the worst Family Guy episode, like possible, and that was live action. Like it's just yeah, like all the funniest parts were in the trailer. So like it just broke every single cardinal sin of a movie for me. So fuck this movie.
I'm the complete opposite. I don't like Family Guy, but I love this film. I don't know. I just something about Charlize Theron being awesome in it. The Sarah Silverman character was hilarious, and I have.
She had a big bush. Get it?
Sex.
Yeah.
Also,
vaginal pubic hair.
Also, I just love the fact that Liam Neeson got hired and he was like, "You remember that joke in Family Guy you made about me?" Fuck you. That made the movie perfect for me. It was just like this meta commentary of just like, you know those chickens? Yeah, they come to hatch, bitch.
Yeah, it's fine, but that's a no from me.
All right. I mean, yeah. So I'm actually do need to get sleep because so it sinks. But before I let you go, we do have one last thing to mention because this Saturday you are competing in the first round robin. I really have to think of that better name for that. But the 4-man, 3-man, 1-woman tournament that we're doing for newer players. It's like it's yourself, Amari Moses, Peggy Gubbins, and Kevin Boss. So Peggy G. Chicago best favorite. So how you feel about that? Are you confident or are you just there?
I have no idea, man. Like it's been so long since I've competed. It feels like so I'm super excited to get back in there. This week I really need to kick into gear a little bit of my preparation and focus overall. But I do know Peggy. Who else is there? Kevin
and Amaru.
Okay, I've played against Amaru in Full Metal before. I feel like it's a really evenly matched. Actually, the four of us I think have pretty similar skill levels, although we're into some different types of movies. I did play against Kevin and I think Jack of all trades media or Jack of all something, whatever.
Yeah, we don't talk about them.
Yeah, whatever. I'm not connected to any of you.
They like masturbating on camera. We don't talk about them.
Yeah, well, either way, I beat them there, so I like that because I got to win somewhere. So anywhere I get a win, this shout out to your league because I actually have a win there.
Oh yeah, you do it.
Thanks to Jake Boy and his poor back. But we'll see. I mean, I'm ready to get back in there. It would be a good way to kind of kick my ass back into gear with my team's match coming up, and eventually, I think I'm gonna be facing Cupcake Coho if he ever decides to show up and play me in a match.
If Warzone don't book that, I'm gonna book it.
Yeah,
I'm just getting tired of this show going on. It's gonna happen at some point.
I mean, because the thing is, I know you have to go soon, and I'm not trying to keep you super late here, but I feel like by this match getting dragged on with Coho to happen for so long, because I genuinely just called him out after a match because I wanted to face someone who wasn't Sean fucking Sandberg or whoever the fuck else. I faced someone else great in my couple matches, but I just genuinely, once I found out he lost to Harley, I was like, he's terrible. Let me face him. And I've gotten to see Coho play a little bit. Coho's not terrible, but I'm still better than him. And I want to and I want to show that. And by taking this long to happen, I feel like I'm falsely getting portrayed as this person begging for it to happen And like he can make it happen anytime he wants, and he doesn't want it to happen for some reason. I get it. He has nothing to gain from beating me, but he's gonna lose and he knows it. And like he just doesn't want it to happen. And it's just like I don't care where it happens. I want to play him. It's gonna be a good match. I don't think I'm gonna walk over him to win, but I'm gonna beat him.
It'll be a close match, definitely.
Yeah, and like I mean, I'm not a bad player. He's just a little worse. That's all. Like, and just like I like genuinely called him out when it happened, and that was what 4 months ago. Like this is insane, man. Like it's just one match, and Multiplex doesn't want to make it happen for whatever reason, and like they're giving me a team match. Thank God it's not against some godly team for once. I'm facing the Riehards, so like if I can't beat those guys, I don't deserve to be a team. So like no offense to Ryan, I like Ryan Persimmons or Permission or whatever his name is. He seems cool. Yeah, ramen parmesan cheese. Like I love him, but his partner is a dingus, whatever that guy's name is. Like I commentated their match where like pretty sure they were making like homophobic slurs towards Dustin and Dominic. So yeah, it's like great. Like, but enough of my enough of my thoughts on the fan leagues. I'm Inky Brooks on Letterboxd. So if anybody is listening to this point, thank you so much for listening. First of all, Garth, you've been great in the comments. So Garth is everywhere. I always Garth is a legend. There's some legends in his community.
There are.
Garth is one of them. But I'm Inky Brooks on Letterboxd. So
yeah,
I'm always over there.
Description.
Yep, I'm always over there. Yeah, I just love it over there. I'm trying to make my reviews a little better, but they still kind of suck. But like at the end of the day, I'm always down to talk movies. This has been a great time, Tony. Thank you for having me on. You, by far, of people in this community, have made me feel a member of this community. So there are not many people in this community who, so far, I've been able to feel ingratiated by, and that's fine. I'm like a little bit of an abrasive, different kind of personality, and I still just don't know many people, but you've done a great job of making a ton of people included. So to talk 2 hours with movies with me, I'm just thrilled with it, man. So I appreciate it.
Hey, it's a pleasure's all mine, mate.
To be on here.
All right. It's a pleasure's all mine. Thank you so much for being on. Just quick say for anyone that hasn't watched the end of this, thank you so much for watching. Please like and comment and everything like that, and share it, subscribe, all that jazz. So what's on for the rest of the week? NBA Live on Friday. We are doing a player auction draft for the Schmodown. So we're doing 30 players. People get money. They're going to bet on it. It's going to be. I don't know why I've agreed to. I don't know why I agreed to schedule this and run this, but we're going to do it. It's going to be fun. Saturday, before the live show and Schmodown live show, is going to be the rookie round robin matches. So it will be Aaron versus Kevin, probably. Oh, fuck it. Aaron versus Kevin is going to be the first match, and Peggy versus Maru will be the second one. I've decided. I've not asked Nick Carley that. He's going to be pissed.
I'm so glad to be avoiding Peggy and Amaru, to be honest with you. No offense to Kevin. I do.
You'll be playing them the next 2 matches.
No, I get it, but I'd like to start with Kevin because Peggy is cold-blooded, man. Everybody does not take her serious because she's really nice and like cool, but I played in 2 or 3 full metals with her, and each one I've realized she is absolutely cold-blooded. No one believes me either. Everybody just thinks because she's all nice and cute that she's not going to be a good competitor. But Peggy G, you're cold-blooded.
Yeah, that's one word for her. That's She's gonna.
And Amaru has a cool basketball board.
He does. She messaged me all the time asking questions. I'm just like, you take it seriously as some of the like.
That's
like,
why this is
why Jake asks me these questions, love.
That's what I mean, man. It's like that's what I mean. It's like you're just like, oh, this is like she's just like looks like she has a social life and she seems like she's just here to like have a good time. No, that girl is here to fucking win, man.
Yeah.
And like she's gonna probably win of the 4 of us. I'm just saying.
Probably.
That's my pick. Peggy G's my pick. If I beat Peggy G, I will. It's a success.
Nice.
I'm watching you, Peggy G.
Then Sunday we got the regular team match. People that'll be up Wednesday. People can sign up for it and all that jazz. So yeah, and that's everything I got plugged. So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Aaron, for being on.
Thank you, Tony. All right. Sleep well, buddy.
Cheers. And let's